Okay guys, so before I start this video, I just wanted to say that I wrote my first post, article, like blog to read, and if you want to check it out, I will leave it in the description, and thank you guys for everything. That's all, and let's go to the video. Okay guys, so in this short video, I will just do a tutorial about rigging as I promised, and I will use the character from my Gumroad page, and you can download it. I will leave the link in the description, it's free. So I will use the female version because I sculpted a male in the previous video and I wanted to have some balance. So what you should have is the basic character of your choice. You can do it on whatever character you want. I have my character, and as you can see, it's separated into separate meshes. So I have like mesh for the stomach, legs, etc. They're all separate, but you can join them if you want. And I will not do it because I don't want to spend too much time on joining parts in correct way by using booleans. So let's add a rig. So basically one thing you have to do, I think at least you have to do, is go to edit, go to preferences, and search for the add-on called Rigify. So you should have it here and just enable it, and thanks to that you should have more options in the armature panel if you click Shift A. So there's a lot of default rigs, as you can see, for birds, cat, horse, shark, whatever. You also have basic human, and I will just like add them and compare them for a second. So I will have basic human, and you also have human meta rig, and they are very similar, but they are a bit different. So this, as the name suggests, is basic, so it doesn't have as much bones as this one. This one is like almost fully featured. You see that you have the bones for the face, but we will not use them, but they have bones for the fingers, and those they don't. And it depends really on which you want to use. I typically use this one, and I just delete the face bones, and I just use it because they already have the fingers predefined, and yeah, it's very sluggish process to add fingers. So I usually use this one, but for the sake of tutorial, for the simplicity, I will use this basic rig. So I'll just select this one and I will just delete it, and I will just click Alt G, so it will reset the position, and yeah, it will be perfectly recentered. So first thing, it was small and I just scale it up to fit our character roughly. Second thing, let's select the object properties for the rig and just click on in front. So it will basically display it in front of your mesh so you can see it all the time. The another option you have is display as, and it's default set on textured, and we want to set it, like, you don't have to, but I prefer to set it on the wire, and you can see it's basically only the edges of the bone, so we have still we can still see the character, but this will always be in front. So sorry guys. So actually let's start doing our character. So first thing I always do is I go to edit mode of my rig and I delete all the unnecessary all the unnecessary bones that I will not use. So it will vary on your needs, but I will not, for example, I will not use the heel bone because I don't want to manipulate my heel separately. I'll just delete it, and make sure to have the x-axis mirror on. You can enable it here or in this panel up here. So I will just delete it by clicking X, and I'll just click bones. What bone I will not use? I will not use the pelvis bone. You can leave it if you want to have more control over the hips, but I will not use it. I found that it's not that necessary, and you have very nice control over without pelvis. So I will just click on delete bone, and one more bone. In this case, I will use it because there's a breastbone, but basically you don't have to use it. We can just delete it. It works very nicely without the breastbone. But if you want to manipulate the breast, I don't know for what reason, but sometimes you do, then you can leave it on and you can just play around with the breast, like you can jiggle it or whatever. So I don't know, I will leave it. So one more bone I want to delete is this bone. As you can see, we have two bones here and they are meant for the neck, and I don't like having two bones manipulating my neck. I like to have one bone. So the way to delete one bone is to select it, but you have to select the tip of the bone and then you click X and you click on dissolve bone. You don't delete the bone, you click dissolve bones, and that way it will basically connect the upper bone with the lower bone. But if you chose the delete bone, you can see that there's a separation between those two bones. They are still connected through the line. I don't know if you can see it. It's just very small pixels. I think you can see it, but they are separated. So let's Control Z it. So let's select the tip. Let's delete it. Dissolve bone, and we have one bone for the neck. And that's everything. That's all bones that I want to use. And now let's put them into place. And to help us with it, we can use one very nice tool, which is snapping. So if you click here, it should be enabled. And the most important thing is to change the snapping option. So you want to change it to volume, and thanks to that, it will basically snap your selection to the center of your object. So let me demonstrate it. So if I select this bone, like this circle, for example, and I want to move it to your elbow, quickly, without this snap, I would have to move it first in the front view, then I would just have to go to the right view and move it to the correct place. But let's say, okay, it's in a very wrong place, as you can see, and if I have snapping enabled and I just click G and point where I want to move it, it will try to match to the center of this model. And if I rotate it around, you can see it's almost perfectly placed. So yeah, it's lifesaver, not lifesaver, it's time saver. So make sure to have it enabled, and all the settings you can see here. And let's start putting those into correct place. So this is the end of the hand. So I will just move it where the hand is, somewhere like here. This should be where the wrist is. And let me select this part again, and I will just try to move it where the middle finger is. So yeah, it's very nicely placed. Let's move this arm to around here, so it will be where your arm starts. This is the shoulder bone, and I will move it more to the center, so it will not take as much place in the arm. Here, let's select it again. Let's move it closer to the chest, and let's see from all sides if it looks good. And for me, it looks nice. So let's select this bone. Let's move it to the top of the head. This to the end of the neck. This bone, make sure to select the correct bone, but because as you can see here, those two bones, like the chest bone and the neck bone, they are not connected. They are connected, but they are separate. But this is the child of this, so this is the parent of this bone, but they are separate, so we can have more control over it. So let's move this to the start of the neck, and this is where the chest is, and I will move it just a little bit below the neck. And let's see from the side if our spine is correct. And as you can see, the basic, like the default options is quite nice because it follows roughly the same structure as our spine. So we can play around with it, you can just tweak it if you want, but I think it's nicely, like it's good enough. So let's play with the breast. So select the tip of the bone, let's just click G so it will snap. I will go to the side view, let's select this part and let's move it where we want it to. So somewhere like here should be fine. Here I will just move it more to the right and let's see the side view. Okay, it's almost perfect. I will disable the snap for a second because I want to manually place it from the side view like this, and let's see the front view is okay, it's nice. Let's select this and let's move it a bit down like this and we should be fine. Let's re-enable the snapping and now let's play with the leg. Let's select this bone, move it where your legs should start, this to your knee. Let's see the side, and it's going a bit too forward, and so I will just move it a bit to the back. This is where your ankle should be, and this is the tip of the foot. So just move it more to the center, and I think that's very nice. Like it's done. It's basically done. So we can just parent it automatic weights. So let's go back to the object mode and let's select all the meshes that you want to be rigged and try to select the rig as the last one. So it should be white or whatever different color from the other selections. And if you click Ctrl P, you should have set parent to. And if you click on with automatic weights, Blender should do some magic stuff and it should like skin it for you. So if you select the rig now and go to pose mode, we should see that if we move our hand, yeah, it's basically almost perfect. You can see that Blender is not, let's like disable the snap for a second. Blender didn't consider this piece here, or did I forgot to select it? No, okay. So Blender tried his best to skin it for us, but of course there are some problems. It's not perfect, but the rest of the rig is almost perfect. So if you go to pose mode, let's see the arm. You can see it's very nicely deforming. Let's see the upper arm. Yeah, it's almost nice. You can always tweak and play with it in the weight painting, but I'll just do a quick paint of this finger, but later. So if you want to pose your character, there's some few nice options. So as you can see here, we have to manually play around with all the bones if you want to like place it in the correct pose. But there's a new or not that new, it's quite new option called Auto IK. It basically make Auto IK for you. So if you select the hand, Blender will try to do Auto IK on this bone. So if you move the hand, the rest of the bones should act like normal, like in normal life. So you as you can see, it works really fine. So if I move it forward, the rest of the bone is following, and the same works with the leg. So if I select this leg, you can see they try to make it as good as possible. Of course, there are some problems, as you can see here. Yeah, some bending, but you can always play with it, or just disable the Auto IK and manually play with the rest things. And it's perfectly enough for posing your character for some renders or whatever. So let's fix this finger and we will end with our tutorial. So let's select everything, click A and click Alt R and Alt G. Basically it will reset your reset rotation and position on your all bones, so you have the default pose. So let's select our rig first and then select the finger, because this is where the problem is. And let's click tab, and we want to go to weight paint mode. And you can see that if now we select by holding shift, of course, if you hold shift and you select the bone, you can see weight of each bone, how it affects our mesh. And basically, as you can see here, if I select the hand bone right here, the red means that affected with 100%. So if you move this bone, move those objects to with 100%. Blue is exactly opposite. If it basically means don't move it, 0%, it don't affect our finger. So for example, if I select upper arm, if I move it, you can see there's no affection on fingers, because our hand should take care of it. So let's paint this to the color red, but first make sure to have the x-axis mirror here enabled, so we don't have to paint it twice. We just have to paint it for the left hand, and it will be mirrored to the right side. So yeah, click on the options here and click X mirror here, because those are two different mirrors, I think. But for the sake, like just to be safe, just make sure to have those two enabled. So let's have our brush selected, and I have it on subtract, and I don't want it to have on subtract, so I will just click on this image and I will click add and change the weight to 1 and just paint your finger, and make sure to paint it from all sides. So all sides are red, because you are painting individual vertices. So once it's red, you can go back to object mode, and if we select the brick again, we go to pose. Now if I move the hand, you can see that the fingers are following our hand, and it should work with the left hand also, but it doesn't work with the left hand also, and I don't know why. But just repeat the process. Yeah, weird stuff. So let's select it. Let's select the brick. Make sure to have the finger selected as the last one. Let's go to weight paint and select the hand bone, and let's color our finger. And I don't know why it didn't work. I'm not sure why it didn't work, because symmetry is on, but it's really weird. It's really weird. And oh, okay, I know why it didn't work, because those fingers, they are not one object. So if they would be joined, it would work, but it's they are not, so that's why. So now we should have like very nice rigged character for posing, so you can do whatever you want with her. Let's check the breastbone, because I'm curious how it works. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, it's really weird, but it works. So you can play around with it if you want to. Yeah, so you can play bend her or whatever. And I don't know if I should bend her, but let's just try to pose her into Superman pose. So it's very quick posing, so don't judge me. So let's select the feet. Yeah, let's rotate it. And let's see from the front. Let's have her legs a bit more joined together. This hand, let's move it more to the back, like this. This hand, let's move it more to the front. And yeah, as you can see, it works. And we can just hide the bones here and she's flying. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial.